I don't know what happened to me. I went to the movie theater to see Doctor Strange, and I ended up in a multiverse myself because cut to 2 weeks later, and I still have yet to talk to you guys about it. So I'm so sorry, but here I am, and I'm going to tell you about why I love this movie, and I am super stoked and super excited about where we are headed next into the MCU. So, recently, before this movie came out, I think it was before. It was very recently. I was talking to a coworker, and they were, yeah, it was. I think it was before the movie came out. He was just saying about how he's not really happy with anything, or like pretty much everything that has come after Endgame is like irrelevant. He said, "It's like it doesn't matter." So, something like that, basically. And it made like to me like that just like a light bulb went in my head. I'm like, well, I mean, that closed. That was like the book end. That was the chapter that closed that saga. When you go to Disney Plus and you look at their collections, there's the Infinity Saga. Um, Shang-Chi isn't in there. Eternals isn't in there, but everything in game and before is in there. So I think that I told him, I'm like, it's just like, we got so used to having these movies all kind of just, we're getting the reward of all of the work that has gone in through the years. So we've been spoiled with getting all of these, like Civil War, Infinity War, Endgame. So it's like we're starting from scratch. And he's like, he kind of paused, he took it in, and he agreed with me. And it's the truth. Like, I don't know how or where the Eternals fit in, but they do. And, it's exciting. It's exciting times. So, yeah, this is like spoiler heavy. At this point, if you haven't seen it at least twice, what are you doing with your life? So yeah, like we got. I'm burying the lead, basically. Like, the number one headline is that we got Professor Charles Xavier. This movie is just so jam packed with so many juicy little tidbits. But number one out of the gate, Charles Xavier, Patrick Stewart, yellow wheelchair, goosebumps everywhere. And then he dies, which is whatever. I don't care. I mean, I want him. He's so old. I had like two thoughts at the same time. Like, I want him as much as I can get him in that role, whatever that looks like, whether it be a Disney Plus series, movies. But yeah, watching him in this movie, I'm like, oh my gosh, he's so old. He looks very old. I haven't seen him on screen in a while. So, yeah, I watched the movie Thursday night, the night before it premiered. And, there were just so many great things in it, like the things I just mentioned. But I'm going to be honest. When I was walking out, even beforehand, I'm just like, I don't know how this movie sits with me. Like, it is obviously top tier amazing because it has Professor Charles Xavier in it and John Krasinski as Reed Richards of the Fantastic Four. But I just felt like, I don't know, like there's something didn't hit home for me. So when I watched it the second time, excuse me, I was like this. The whole movie, I'm just like analyzing, taking it in, enjoying it. Um, and I'm here, and I came out, and I'm here, and I loved it. So after the rewatch, I think that what didn't land initially, I think number one was it's such a dense story. There's a lot going on. You have Wanda hunting down America Chavez so she can get her power and so she can find her children in the multiverse. And then you have America Chavez, who can control her power, lands on Doctor Strange's plate, who is. He starts off the movie where you see the love of his life marrying someone else. He really is just thrown into the America Chavez stuff. So you have him trying to help her, and then you have the Darkhold and how that eventually gets a hold of him. Then you have the horrific Sam Raimi zombie stuff, and you have him with these demon souls as wings flying to help at the very end. I mean, I'm missing so many things. You have them traveling the multiverses, so you're meeting all the different characters, like the Doctor Strange, the evil, all the Doctor Stranges. You see them. You see Charles Xavier, John Krasinski is Reed Richards, and then you see June Carter. What's her name? You see the female Captain America. You see Black Bolt, Miss Marvel in a different universe. So, it was a lot. It was a lot to take in. You had to just to be the way they kind of threw you in the action. Like, the second time around, it was a lot of fun. Like, I enjoyed it. But then it's just like I had that whole history already where I knew what I was going to see. And like I think that was a part of it that didn't sit well with me when I first watched it, where I'm just like, okay, wait, what's going on? Okay, this is happening, and then I don't know. It just was a lot for me. But after the second go around, like I really want to go see it a third time. I'm really excited about where everything leads with Charlize Theron and her little cameo in the scene at the very end after the credits. I'm excited to see what happens with him and his third eye. I want to see what happens with America Chavez, learning how to master the arts that they master. Doctor Strange and Wong. So I'll let you know what happens. I need to catch up on some Doctor Strange comics and some Thor comics, because Thor is like a month and a half away, maybe a little bit more. So I have started a rewatch of this season of Survivor. At the start of my rewatch, there were only 2 episodes left. Now there's only 1 episode left. So that's coming up this Wednesday. We're going to get a winner. As of right now, our 18 castaways have been dwindled down to 5. So really during this rewatch, I'm just like focusing more so on their stories. Just kind of tracking their edit, how much screen time do they get, how meaningful is the screen time, is it emotional, heartfelt, crying, or reminiscing about home, is it all of your grand strategic plans in the winners edit music and all of that. So it's fun to do this, to go back and rewatch the whole season, because really I don't know who the winner is yet. And so I'm sure there are plenty of Easter eggs to be found. So like for instance, really I'm just going to be talking about episodes 1 through 4. episodes 1 through 5. And we lose 6 castaways in that time. So we go from 18 to 12. It starts off with Jackson being medically evacuated. And then there's Zach, Mariah, Ginny, Swati, and Daniel. So Daniel is the last vote out before the breaking of the hourglass twist, where usually we would see a merge. So we have this twist. So it's a pretty good spot to kind of round out my viewing. So the thing with this is, like, you know, there are so many players still in this game, and you know, we lost 6 players, so you're gonna have screen time devoted to all of them, what happens to them and why they get the boot. So yeah, that's what I'm saying. It makes it interesting to do the rewatch, because then you're just sitting there and you get those little nuggets of the people that are still in the game. So, like, for instance, a big thing about Survivor. I don't know what the statistics are on this, but I feel pretty, like, okay, so, like, a big thing of this is, like, the winners edit, and then, like, you get something of them in, like, those first 5-ish minutes of the game, where it's Jeff talking about the game, building up the season, and we're getting shots of the island and the games, and we're getting shots of the castaways coming in, and then we get little snippets from the castaways, like they're talking about, like, their game or their life, or how they're gonna be the best survivor, how they are a survivor, or whatever. You know, it'll always, like, the winner will be in there somewhere, or they will be featured in a Matt chat. So basically, with this season, with the 5 people we have left, we pretty much heard from everyone in that first opening segment, except for Romeo. So we heard from Jonathan. We even heard from Lindsay, who really isn't that purple throughout the season, I'm finding out. We definitely heard from Marianne. We definitely heard from Mike. So yeah, the only one that we didn't hear from initially is Romeo. But we do hear from Romeo on the Matt chat. So he sneaks his little butt in there. But a lot of people are very low on Romeo's chances of winning. Watching the remainder of the episodes, it's interesting because as of right now, with the 5 people left in the game, 3 of them are Taku. So we've really had a lot of Taku. No matter what, like, even after the 2nd episode, that's when they got rid of their last person. So it was the final 4 of Taku until last episode, the final 6. So they lasted a really long time in the game, and that really makes the rewatch even more easy, because when they're on a tribe with this, on the island with a certain tribe, that tribe, it's just like pretty much everyone there. So you're just like watching everyone, which is awesome. But so yeah. It's a good season, and I'm so sad that it's ending, and I don't want it to end, and I want to apply. And now that they're showing those little clips of Jeff's at the end of the episodes where he's, like, out there on the beach, and he's like, do you want to be out here, or whatever he says, I don't know. Maybe I still will apply, but, like, the actual idea of going is, I couldn't not begin to comprehend. I don't even think I would be able to pass the medical, but you never know until you try. So, if anything, I'm leaving you with my first part of my Survivor 42 rewatch with, you never know until you try.